How do we keep falling for this? Sovereign BS. Why do black people keep falling for these scams? So we'll check out the video and we'll talk about it on the other side.
You can't claim you're sovereign and then claim rights under the Constitution. That's not how it works. No, that is not how it works.
Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today, we have a Moorish American sovereign citizen who refuses to identify himself by the name on the docket, and in his ultimate wisdom, gets his already active warrants continued. We have 2 trials today, so let's begin.
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. What's your name, sir?
If I can help you.
I'm Williams L.
Yes, Your Honor, but the defendant is identified in the docket as Michael Williams. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, that's the name they're calling me, but I am
Okay.
Williams L.
I understand.
Michael Williams. Okay.
No,
Mr.
I'm not
Williams, I'm
Michael
asking-
Williams, Your Honor.
Okay.
I am Williams
Okay.
L.
Well, Mr. L, that's unfortunate for you because you are not the attorney on record for Mr. Michael Williams. So technically, you can't represent him. This is actually a common and comical tactic used by sovereign citizens in court, as they believe that if they don't identify with the name on the docket, then how can they prove that it was them who committed the crime?
Okay. So here's the thing, Williams L. I have to call you what's on the documents that I have present for me in court today. We can either handle it that way, or you don't have to handle it, and then it just will be like you didn't show up to court today.
No,
So it's
Your
either
Honor,
way,
I'm just
but I
letting
have
you
to
know
call
who I. Your Honor, I'm just letting you know who I am.
Okay.
I am Williams
That's fine.
L. I am not Michael Williams. They kept calling me Michael Williams. I told them who I was. I am a sovereign, Moorish American. I'm not United States citizen, Negro, Black, or colored, Your Honor.
Okay, so let me tell you, Mr. Williams, this is the last time I'm gonna say it. This is all I have for you. If you don't want to handle it under that name today, then I have to act as if you aren't present. And so that's fine, but I
You
have
say
to
what?
call
Hold
you
on.
what's that document, okay?
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that,
I
Your Honor?
said, if we can't handle those matters and those tickets that's on that case under that name, then that's fine, but it's gonna be as if you didn't appear for court today, because I have.
Ma'am, I'm here today, ma'am.
Right, so I'm just saying, when I.
Williams
call those
L is here
documents,
today. I'm
did
just
you-
letting you know
hold
who
on,
I
Mr.
am,
Williams.
ma'am.
And that's what she told you. Williams L is not on trial. However, Michael Williams of the window licking clan is. Now, does that jackass happen to be in the courtroom today? And would he like to participate in his trial?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I am Williams L.
So that's fine. When I call it on the record, I'm gonna have to call it on the record as the name on the ticket, just so you know, okay?
Okay, and I'm gonna let you know that I'm Williams L. Okay, I'm cool
That's
with
fine.
that. And I'm letting you know who I am. I'm a
Okay.
Moorish American.
Okay, did you wanna
Sovereign.
offer? Okay, did you wanna offer for it or no? Are you gonna try and I need to kind of know where you're going. Are you gonna want a trial? Are you gonna try and wanna offer?
No, I do not agree. I do not agree to none of this. I'm sovereign.
Okay, so if you're not gonna participate, we're just gonna act like you're not here today, and I'm going to go ahead and.
I am here today, ma'am. You seeing me right here? That's on
You
record.
have to- Listen, just because you show up doesn't mean that you're here. You have to participate, okay?
Ma'am, I'm a sovereign. I'm letting you know who I am.
Listen,
I'm
and
participating. I do not
that's
agree.
Mr. Williams. That's fine, but if you don't participate, saying you're a sovereign doesn't help me.
To be fair, saying he's a sovereign doesn't really help him out either, Judge. It just makes him sound like one of those babies from the lead era.
I'm just letting you know who I am. That's
Okay.
violating a constitutional right, ma'am.
So do you want an offer or not? That's my question.
Do I want to what?
An offer to the tickets or not?
Do I want to? I can't understand. You said, do I want to offer
Do you want an
tickets?
offer? Do you want to try and resolve this today as far as?
Yes,
an offer?
I do want to resolve it. I asked for this case to be dismissed off lack of jurisdiction, Your Honor.
Oh, no, that's not gonna happen. So you can, I'm
Well,
not gonna.
I'm speaking for myself. I have no attorney, so I'm speaking for myself. I asked for this case to be dismissed. You're violating my constitutional right.
How
And
do you
I
have
asked for your
constitutional
oath of
rights if you're not a citizen?
I'm not a United States citizen.
So how are you entitled to constitutional rights of citizens?
It's about time that someone said what's on everybody's mind. And let's be clear here, even non-citizens are entitled to fundamental rights, and these fundamental rights include judicial matters. But outside of those human rights, these glorified tourists and illegal aliens enjoy only protections, not rights. Those benefits are enjoyed by those of us who don't hate our country.
You got to uphold to the sovereign, sir. You can't. I'm not United States citizen. I'm not Negro, black, or color. You're not under I'm not under your jurisdiction.
I understand, but my question to you is, if you want to rely on your constitutional rights, how do you have constitutional rights if you're denying your citizenship?
Yeah, because I'm an American. I'm a national.
I get
I'm
it,
a
but
Moorish American. I'm not United States citizen corporate. I'm a Moorish American. I'm an American national.
okay, but you're still present in this jurisdiction, right?
I just asked for this case to be dismissed off lack of jurisdiction. That's it.
And she already told you that the answer was no. And if you'd like to represent yourself and argue jurisdiction, then you might want to start participating in your trial.
I don't want no attorney. I can speak for myself. I'm not a minority.
Right.
What am I doing here?
He can represent himself. Don't worry about it. You put
I can
yourself on
speak
record.
for myself.
All right.
I'm speaking
Now
for
calling the
myself.
matters
Y'all
of the
violating my
people.
rights. That's a
Now
sovereign.
calling the matters of the people versus Michael Williams. This is ticket number SP 1212334. Count 1, use loudspeaker without permission or unreasonable noise. Count 2, drove while license suspended. Count 3, no insurance misdemeanor. Sir, please state your name for the record.
Let's see if he gets it right this time. Press X to doubt.
I am Williams L.
All right. Sir,
I don't have a name. I have a title.
Yeah, dumb fuck of the year.
This is the date and time set for a arraignment on a bench warrant. Do you want to participate in these proceedings?
Yes, I'm here on special appearance. I'm just letting you know who I am.
All right, so how would you like to move forward with this matter, sir?
I asked for this case to be dismissed off lack of jurisdiction, Your Honor.
All right, that motion has been denied. How would you like to move forward on these matters?
I just told you what I would like it, so I don't know. I'm just here on
So it's
special
been
appearance.
denied, so you can either participate today.
I am participating. I'm here.
You have to be more than present. You have to participate. This is why you shouldn't be representing yourself, because a lawyer would know exactly what to do in this situation. But I'm sure Mr. L will figure it all out eventually. I mean, he did sleep outside of a Holiday Inn Express last night.
I'm speaking for myself. I have no attorney, so I'm just letting you know. I just denied, so we can keep going on with proceedings. I am Williams L. I'm not a United States citizen. I'm not Negro, black, or color. I'm not Christian.
All right, Mr. Williams, it appears to the court as I'm making a record that he does not want to participate in these proceedings.
I told you I
like
wanted
to
to
dismiss
participate.
these
I'm just
matters.
letting you know who I am. I told you for the record.
All right, he would like to not participate in these proceedings. He has told me that he is the person known as Williams L. and not the person on these tickets, so he is not appearing on behalf of this person. This person has not made themselves available to the court today as an arraignment on the bench warrant, so these matters will stay in warrant status. Thank you so much. That concludes this hearing. Have a good day, Mr. L. Williams.
Well, that's one way to deal with a dipshit. You don't want to participate? Fine. Your warrants will stand. Now, to his credit, he did show up the next day at the courthouse to face the judge one-on-one, and it worked out about as well for him as you would expect.
Williams L.
Williams L. I'm gonna call the case as is,
Okay.
and then I'll refer to you as Williams L. if you would like, okay? Now calling the matters of the people versus Michael Williams, also known as Williams L. This is ticket number SP 1212334. Count 1, use loudspeaker without permission or unreasonable noise. Count 2, drove while license suspended. And count 3 is no insurance misdemeanor. Sir, can you state your name for the record, please?
Williams L.
Okay, and is there another name that
Well,
you have?
That's not my name. That's just my title.
And who anointed you with this title? The King of Crayons?
Okay, what's your title that you have, sir?
Williams L.
And then, is that your name or your title?
My title.
Okay, you don't have a name at all?
No,
All
not Christian.
All right. It's my understanding that you don't want to have an attorney, sir, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, you know you have the right to have an attorney. These matters are misdemeanor matters, and you have the right to have an attorney on these matters, sir. And it's my understanding, no attorney, okay? So let me advise you of your rights. In these particular matters, the court can, since they are misdemeanors, do either, I think, 90 days on one of these and up to 93 days in jail, or a maximum fine of $500. These are all misdemeanors, so that's the maximum penalty that can be given in any of these matters. You have a right to have a trial, a bench or a jury trial in any of these matters. A bench trial is a trial before myself as the trier and finder of facts. A jury trial is a trial with 6 members of the city of Detroit who will come in here and hear the same information and make a decision based on it. These are your rights that you have right now. You also have a right to have a pretrial. What that does is that gives you time to think about any offer that may be given to you. At this point in time, there has been an offer extended to you that if you are willing to plead to the no insurance misdemeanor, it will be reduced to an improper place. I set the fine that goes with that. You have a right to, you can also move for a motion. If you know how to file those, you can file a motion as well. So what's your pleasure at this time, sir?
I know I'm under common law. I'm not under statutes.
Wait, did you just say you aren't under any statutes? You know what? Fuck it. Let him represent himself, because I'd love to learn about all the Michigan statutes and how they don't apply to him.
Or codes or regulations.
So when you drive on any city street in the city of Detroit, any road in the state of Michigan, you now avail yourselves, whether you wanted to or not, to the laws and states and regulations that are governing us. So you may not have wanted to, but you did. So these are your options at this point in time. If you choose not to, if you were traveling, if you were driving, it's all the same.
I wasn't driving, I was never.
So if you were just in the vehicle as a passenger?
I was parked. And they was harassing.
You sure you don't want an attorney?
I'm under common law. I can speak for myself. I'm not a minority. I'm a sovereign.
So what option would you like today? Of those that I gave you, sir? You can have.
Ma'am, I'm a sovereign. I can't, I do not consent. I can't.
So here's what's gonna happen. So I want to make sure you have all the options. You can't consent to anything. So that means that you don't want to participate in the process. So it's just gonna go back into warrant status, because you have to pick one of the options. Yes.
Ma'am, I'm a sovereign.
And you were in the city of Detroit on a street in a vehicle. And I understand what you just said. That's why I said,
right.
did you want counsel?
I'm not a United States citizen.
Okay. All right.
Nobody have improved jurisdiction. I'm a Moor. Nobody have improved jurisdiction. I'm under common law. Statutes don't apply to me. I'm under common law. Supreme Court case, Supreme Court case, Self versus Brady. Statutes don't apply to me. I'm on common law. And if there was a crime committed, can you please show me the injured party, or I ask for this case to be dismissed off my interest?
I deny the motion for the case to be dismissed, so you have these options, or else it's just gonna remain.
And I'm under duress because you forced me saying you're gonna put a warrant out for my arrest.
It's already out there.
But that's violating my 13th Amendment. You can't enslave me unless a crime has been committed.
So you
can't violate my.
Okay, let me finish talking. You can't claim you're sovereign and then claim rights under the Constitution. That's not how it works. No, that is not how it works.
Ma'am, I'm not a United States citizen. I have a nationality.
Okay, so that means that
you have to go by
either the laws all apply or none of them apply.
The laws do apply. Do you have a liability? Do you have a bond? Did you swear an oath to the Constitution? I would like to see that.
Yes, I was gonna say I did do that, but I don't have to show you any of that because I wasn't the arresting party. I'm just here to make sure.
Do you have a liability? Do you have a bond?
I'm not gonna argue with you. Mr.
I'm not arguing. I'm under law.
Mr. Williams L., those are your options. If you don't want any of those options, it's gonna remain in warrant status.
You're forcing me. You can't do that.
Okay.
You can't do that, man. You can't go against Constitution.
Okay, Mr.
You took an oath. You swore an oath to follow the Constitution.
I did.
That's why I need your liability bond. Do you have a liability bond?
No.
You don't have a liability bond?
No.
Wow, man, somebody's gonna get in trouble. I'm not trying to get nobody in trouble.
Oh, really? Well, your decision not to participate in your trials has directly led to you getting yourself in trouble. I mean, think about it. If you would have just answered your name and let the public defender do his job the first time, you'd probably be sitting at home warrant free instead of standing before the court with your warrant continued.
Okay. Mr. Williams L., I was about to say, if you don't want any of those options, then your only other option is that I have to leave it in warrant status.
I do not consent. I'm here. What warrant? That I didn't show up?
That you didn't want to choose one of these things.
I don't have to. You can't force me to do that, all right?
You're right.
You can't force me. You can't put a warrant out. I would like to talk to somebody, a chief judge. You're violating my constitutional rights. You can go to the fifth floor and make a complaint. That's because you're violating my constitutional rights.
All right.
And I'm gonna ask the sheriff for your liability bond.
Okay.
Hey, I don't want to do that.
Okay. You can ask him. Go ahead and ask the sheriff for my liability bond. It's fine.
Took an oath to swear to the Constitution. Took an oath. I'm under common law. I'm not under statutes or regulations.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Did you get all that, Miss Sandy? Okay, fantastic. All right, that concludes this hearing. Thank you so much.
I'm not Negro, black, or color for the record.
Okay. He said he's not black or color for the record either, okay?
No, I'm Moorish American. I'm a Moorish.
Moorish American, and he's a sovereign.
I have a nationality.
Yeah, we get it. And don't worry, after that last comment, the record will reflect that you are indeed an idiot. All right, guys, that's the end of the video. Willie L., which stands for loser, has another court date in about a month. And you know I'm going to be covering it. So if you like the video, leave a like. If you disliked it, leave a dislike. But don't.
Yeah, I'm watching that. I'm like, yo, this is what I'm talking about when these conversations come up about black folks doing some nonsense. Am I supposed to take up for this because he's black? Really? I'm supposed to co-sign this book? This guy is doing all this bullshit over like a $500 ticket, like D-Web said in the chat. Right? A fine over a ticket. And you doing all this bullshit? Come on, guy. And I'm supposed to support that? Just because you're black? No, I think there has to be a standard. And this don't cut the standard, man. This is a bunch of fuckery. You know, let's welcome in Real Black Gentleman this week. Real Black Gentleman, how are you?
Oh my goodness, I feel great. Again, like it's like you can't try to like just use description, because that's all it is trying to describe the situation. That's all he's doing. He's just saying he's trying to hit. Come on, that's not a furtherance of anything. That does not assert anything. That's the problem. Everything about what he's doing is like a real like passive aggressive like description. It does not defend or do anything. It's trying to nullify. You're not going to go anywhere trying to like nullify and kind of like you know, he's trying to. I mean, I don't know any of the whole details of Moore's law. I just hear excerpts like this, right? And I know it's nonsense, man. I mean, black people could, the law is the law. I mean, people study for years to understand the intricacies of law. I get that. I understand that from the distance, right? But like, you're not going to come into a courtroom and you should know how courtrooms work. You should have some sense about that. You know, you bring evidence and you try to, you know, have case, you know what I'm saying? You do all this cross again. Okay. You're not winning just on like trying to like say that I'm not who I am. And that's just a stall tactic. All it amounts to is a stall tactic, man. I know it's nonsense, man. And it's like, it's antiquated. There's no, trying to say that it's like built on case law. There's nothing, you can't even get past the first sentence. You haven't even like used that sovereignty you have not even, no one is able to do that, because naturally, as soon, again, we're like she said, you can't claim sovereignty and rights. I mean, it's really on its face. It's just like, it's balderdash. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Just double talk. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? I guess, how do we keep falling for this? You know what I'm saying? It's just the idea that, you know, the shortcut around the law. Honestly, you know, it's easy to say don't get caught in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And it's easier said than done, but, you know, that's kind of the first step. Okay, once you caught, don't say too much. You know what I'm saying? He's saying way too much. He could have just kind of went ahead and, like, you know, maybe on her discretion, because she was so nice and so patient and calm and told him what it was in a very gentle voice. I mean, I wish I'd have judged like that. She seemed like she was a friend to him in that room. You know what I'm saying? And she, and her tone, that's the thing, the way that she spoke to him. And it's just like his whole response is, well, you're not under. No, come on, man. You know, that's not how you get ahead. That's not how you, like, you're not convincing anyone. And I mean, that's kind of the whole point. If you're going to be convicted, you know, when you're a jury, the jury is convinced that you're guilty. That's how that works. But you're not convincing anyone that you're innocent. And so, see, you know what I mean? Exactly. I don't want to say too much, you know what I'm saying? I mean, again, like, this is not how black people are gonna like get ahead. Like, I think that in any kind of, like, I suppose, like, progressive, like, powerful society, every, like, black person who graduates is a paralegal. You hear what I said? If you grow up understanding law as much as we understand science, and we talk about STEM, like, look, if we spent 12 years of our schooling getting pieces of the law from kindergarten to 12th grade, and we're like paralegal status, like, same deal with, like, medicine. If like every black student could, like, graduate with as a paralegal and a paramedical, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know how to, like, heal you and the law out of high school. Look, I'm just saying that, you know what I'm saying? That's like a high goal. Like, can that happen? I think, you know, if we're talking about, like law, you know, as we're talking about here in medicine, I'm just using as another example. It's like, you know, because he's trying to outsmart them with some really, like, you know, apparent stuff. Like, I respect the high, like, noble ambition of trying to like fight the legal system, but you're not going to do it on some oblique stuff and trying to, like, do what he did. I've seen this probably a lot. Everyone here has seen these Moors try to do this stuff time and time again. You just trying to, like, not get past the intro of, like, identity and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to cut it. So, like, I mean, I suppose the best way to go about it is just, like, the law, understanding what law is. You know what I'm saying? On the fundamental level, and making sure that if like, you know, we were to, like, graduate schooling as youth, as, like I said, is basically as paralegals. You know what I'm saying? Like, you graduate high school with your diploma and you're ready to practice law, or at least the peripheries of law. And if you know that, then you can function in society lawfully, right? That's you know what I'm saying? I get what they try to do, and, you know what I'm saying, I'm not knocking the hustle. Sometimes you gotta, like, throw some chaff in the wind, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's nonsense, and it don't get very far. But again, like, you know, black people can do it. I mean, it's one of those things that it's a way of, you know what I'm saying, a novel way of introducing law into education. I think would be a good way of doing it. I mean, there's no reason why someone who's 8 years old should not understand what law is. You should not be 8. You should not have, I mean, because education, schooling does, I mean, at least in America and probably in most countries, don't teach you about law. And I mean, law is an African thing. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if, you know what I'm saying, if what a lawyer is, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, people have court. And I mean, you argue and you dispute stuff. I mean, that's African. Come on, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I think that an answer would kind of, like, again, bring back some of these long-term, like, educational things like medicine and law, and bring them back to the kindergarten level, and just make sure that, like, you know, I think, like I said, a lofty idea is to like make sure that every black, a black student could graduate as a paralegal and a paramedical. And a paramedical. I was about to say paramilitary, but like that's not a bad thing too. But like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like making sure that you can at least function and respond to and begin to proact to a situation in a structured way. I'm gonna yield the mic.
I appreciate that, Real Black Gentleman. Yeah, in the chat, the House Ready Podcast is saying some of the things I was thinking while watching this video. Like, the dude is claiming sovereignty. At the same time, he wants to be protected under the Constitution. Like, those two things don't mix. That's oil and water, right? That's definitely the difference between a nation and a culture group. A lot of people don't understand the difference. It's wild to see how you can influence folks to go in before a court of law and pull this bullshit. He's lucky he had a black woman up there. Real talk. He's lucky he had a black woman up there who kind of enabled him in his mental illness. You know, it's wild. Let's hear from Tanzan on this one. Tanzan, what say you?
What's funny is, and I'm not claiming I know too much about this movement, but I just looked it up, and like everything, crazy and insane, it actually started from some white supremacist movement called Posse Comitatus. I don't know anything about it, but it was, the Christian identity movement. And so, they were sort of trying to be outside. They were against income tax and, the debt and debt collection and all this. So, that's where it started, so people just, latch on to these movements and they don't know. And usually at the tail end of the movement itself, when something hasn't worked, then they throw it to, to these people and so they, gravitate towards it. And unfortunately, it doesn't really work. It's this sort of fantasy that makes people feel good that they're sort of outside the law. And I have to say, like a real black gentleman said, that the judge was very patient with him. Like she was firm, but she was very patient. Most of the time, these kinds of tactics would be quickly thrown out of court. They don't really have much, patience for this sort of thing. But she was very nice and polite. But this is not going to happen all the time, and sometimes some of them have had encounters with law enforcement, and he's lucky he actually got to see the judge, because some of them will resist arrest. They will start talking down to the officers. They will refuse simple commands and so on. So by the time they get to the court, they've already been through it. So this is the sadness of ignorance and hope and giving people, the wrong information instead of just telling them what it is. And it's just delaying tactics. It's not going to save you. If you're going to save yourself, I have the actual information, have the information that's actually going to protect you, not some fantasy delusion that you think is going to help you out. So, unfortunately, we will keep falling for them because it's a fantasy that we all have. We didn't agree, because even the law is based on this idealistic thing about the social contract and the courts and all this. It's there's a lot of things behind it. This, I don't want to get all occultic and black pentagram, but the courts are set there. They're not there to help you. You're there as a dead man. Once you've gotten there, you're already almost dead, and you have to almost fight for your life to for your right to go back to life. So, these people don't understand that, the courts, everything has been prepared. They're almost like a dead man walking. So you're not there to prove that you altered the system. You're actually to prove, that you're still alive within it. So unfortunately, people get the wrong information, or, something that they hope that will help them in a court of law. And usually they think to themselves that they sound smart. They think that, they've got one over on the law, but it's part of that individualism mindset that people think that they can go it alone. They can, be their own law unto themselves, and the outside society doesn't touch them. But, with philosophy, with law, with all these things, we cannot be individualistic. There's no such society, whether African or this one, which is even so much individualistic, but it won't let you be completely independent. So, unfortunately, he was lucky. He got a very good judge. I have to give her, her credit for being patient with him. I'm sure she sees a lot of interesting people, but she gave him the dignity. Even if somebody is wrong, at least you should still give them that respect as a human being. We might be wrong on some things, and so I do credit her for not humiliating him, not just raking him over and just making him look like the fool. He is a fool, but at least she still treated him with respect. So, you know, I can say that. But we keep falling for it because it's hopeful. Sometimes things are difficult. Sometimes, life doesn't. And, some people just feel that they're just outside of the law, that things should not apply to them. So you find people who want to be outside. They want to do these things, but they don't want to pay for them. And so, and unfortunately, if you don't have your own, country vehicle, society, you can't make the rules. You're still a part of society. So the only way is not to change yourself. It's to change society, which, obviously as an individual, you can't really do. You need a group to do it. So yeah, these are people who they keep falling for it because they hope that there's a shortcut out of, this system that we're in. There is no shortcut. You simply, have to make the best of the circumstances that you're given, but there's no choice of getting out, not unless you leave or you die. So yeah, it's just hopefulness. It's just hope, because people don't really feel that they have a choice. Yes.
In the chat,
Yes, Metro is right.
I'm sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, I was just reading the Metro's comment, and she's absolutely right. Yes, hope is the last snake oil. The last thing that the snake oil salesman will sell to people. They're not selling cures; they're selling hope. So a lot of these people do fall for it because they hope that somehow they can have a shortcut out of the system. But unfortunately, it's not so easy.
Yeah, the matron was saying that the game is to be sold, not told, and we will keep buying hope as long as it's being sold. I agree with that as well. D Webb from the House Ready Podcast says, I think that's more detrimental. He think he knows what he's talking about, and he will pull that nonsense in front of a not as understanding judge. Absolutely. That's what I took from it too. Like, this guy is fortunate. He's in front of this black woman who might have been privy prior to this sovereignty talk. I was just thinking about it like today, I think. I was thinking about it today or yesterday. How this sovereignty thing came around like 20 years ago. Like, Polite has been around a good solid 20 years. I want to say it's like 2002, 2003 when he first came out. And people are still talking this sovereignty talk today. It's wild to me. Let's welcome back Carl and Zakiah. Carl, what say you to this?
Hey, oh man. So this is hilarious to me. So just for a frame of reference, I have a lot of lawyers in my family. My mom is a lawyer, my sister's a lawyer, and my cousin's a lawyer. Shout out to them. But you know, there's no cheat code to this shit. There's no up, down, left, right, hold A button and press start type of code you can put in to get out of this mess. So I think that's kind of what I'm seeing with this dude here. He's just trying to, oh, I know the code. I'm sorry, you can't do this. And his answers are so contradictory to within themselves. He doesn't even realize it. Like, he doesn't realize how ridiculous he really sounds. He really believes this. So in a way, the judge is being nice to him, but I almost kind of hoped he would kind of get jacked up just to kind of snap him back to reality. Like, you tripping right there. I don't know where these people get this whole more citizenship. And, you know, I read a book one time by one of these sovereign citizens talking about, you can drive without a license. And if you tell the officer that, and I said, yeah, he'll let you go. That's ridiculous. Like, do you not realize as a black man, they'll beat your ass with a license? So what you think they gonna do without one? So it's law isn't so much about law, it's about power. And I always think about how, you know, even though things might be moral, they're not necessarily legal. And law depends on, the ability to enforce it. So you don't have the ability to enforce your rules, and your laws are powerless. There was a famous Supreme Court case in the mid 19th century, the Cherokee Nation versus the state of Georgia, where the Cherokee Nation went to the Supreme Court, and they got found that, hey, Georgia could not legally take their land, and they had a right to stay in their homeland. And the president at the time, Andrew Johnson, he said, the court has made the decision. Now let them enforce it. And then he threw the Cherokee off the land anyway. So you may be right. I know he's not right, but it's the ability to enforce the law, the power behind it. And this man I don't know what treaties he's harking back to, that he's asking to, but it's the ability to enforce that law. So, you know, he's probably going to get some jail time. He's probably going to pay some fines. And he's going to try to argue it till the end of time. And I don't know, it's sad. It's funny and it's sad at the same time that, this man is going through this depth of delusion. But I mean, there's people who join cults all the time. So delusion is not something that it's unheard of. So we see people joining all type of religious groups, and, people think aliens are coming to save us. And, so this sovereign citizen stuff is just another way to try to avoid our true reality. But unfortunately, this cheat code is not going to work for this dude. So now he run across that white judge. He going to give him, 90 days just off principle. So I'm sure he'll tighten up eventually. That's just my thoughts.
I appreciate that, Carl. The matron put me on some game here. Says the sovereignty game has been out since the 1913s or so. And the first Morris Science Temple was set up. This goes back to Noble Drew Ali, I think. Oh, I didn't know that. I know I could remember maybe being just out of college and hearing about this sovereignty stuff. And that's when Polite was like the Jay-Z of YouTube at the time. I want to say it was about 20 years ago now, or maybe a little over, when it was doing the sovereignty thing. So it's interesting to see folks are still on this. D. Webb from the Hot Shotty podcast says it's a dude called Brother Truth who also pushing the sovereignty talk and also, quote unquote, we was natives rhetoric to the point of selling tribal IDs to people. The grift goes on. That's amazing. That's amazing how people want to feel good about something else as opposed to what really is going on, and they'll drop money for it, man. It's wild. Only, what say you to this?
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought he would have got like contempt of court, but of course I'm not a legal expert, so I don't know if that's applicable here. But what I would say is this: first, like, I don't know how I felt with regard to the whole white boy commenting on the whole shit, but I'm also kind of like, it's kind of bad. I think it might be a good thing for it to be a white boy instead of a black man, because you don't want black folk like being like their whole thing being critical of other black folks. So like a white boy being critical of us is like, okay. But beyond that, I thought it was interesting that like the whole cast was black, like the judge, the attorney, the other lady, and then like one of them even looked like Chiyombori, didn't she? Like, I think you just passed it actually, but the lady who was a court reporter, she looked like Chiyombori. I was like, what's she doing here? But beyond that, in regard to the subject, yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know why anybody would fall for this nonsense, let alone like the guy doing it so weak where he's like, you're violating my constitution. Like, dude, like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, if you are not a like if you're not a citizen, why would you like? How would the 13th Amendment apply to you? You know what I mean? Uh, that said, like it sounds like well, I'm actually kind of clueless as to what he was being charged with because at one point it seemed like he was just like it was a noise complaint, but then the judge was like, "You were in a car," and then he's like, "Nah, I think I was in a park." So I'm guessing he was just playing loud music in a park or something, or maybe he was probably playing like a lecture in a
No,
park, and then
he was parked in his car playing loud music. He said I was parked. I wasn't driving.
okay. He was parked in a car playing loud music. So maybe he was like probably because like it could be that he was like playing like a lecture or some old bullshit. But knowing him, it probably was some old bullshit. But and people were just like, "Yo, cut that shit out." And now he's like, I'm not. The laws don't apply to me. And it's like, come on, my guy. Like you should have known that wasn't gonna work from jump. You know what I mean? Like you should have known that you can't. Like I can't go into the streets of New York and then do some shit and then be like, y'all can't do nothing because I'm a sovereign. Like that don't like what do you know what I mean? Like that wouldn't even make any sense anywhere. Like I can't because I know for instance, I was in Tanzania. Matter of fact, some brother was saying I said that every day. Anyway, but like I can't go do fuck shit over there. In fact, I did do fuck shit over there, but I never said, well, I mean, even though everybody knew I was an American citizen, I ain't gonna hold you, but like I wasn't like I'm an American citizen, so your laws don't apply to me. Like that's not a real thing. You know what I mean? Like me being in another country and saying that the laws don't apply to me, like your laws don't apply to me, like unless you're a diplomat, right? In which case, then you could probably say diplomatic immunity. But even then, like it would just totally depend on what the thing is. And as far as that would have to be like officially recognized by the state. Like I would guess that you'd have to like have a diplomat's visa type thing. So like unless you could cite that, like this whole thing is just kind of stupid. Like the idea that you could just be in another person's country and then be immune to their laws, right? And especially if you like violating, like, come on, like it's just kind of dumb. So I don't know. As far as the question, how do black folk keep falling for it though? Because a lot of black folk kind of like I ain't gonna hold you, like a lot of them kind of I don't want to finish the sentence, but you guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I damn sure get what you're trying to say there. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. House Ready Podcast says, yeah, it's like the Saudi royals come over here on a yearly trip and basically do what they want, but they have immunity, even being accused of rape and no charges, all about power. Yeah, these guys are talking about some treaty that America never has kept up with Morocco or anyone, right? But you guys think somehow some regular ass black dude in America can give you paperwork that gets you off of tickets and police stops and all kind of stuff like that. Like you are insane. And by the way, Tariq Nasheed, the King Grifter, it has guys like Polite in them in his movies. And you guys, because you don't get one grift, you don't get the next. Because you don't understand how one guy is pulling some bullshit, you don't get how the next guy is pulling some bullshit. But they're all pulling some bullshit. That's not how any of this shit works. The matron says sovereign logic teaches them that they are diplomats with a title. They sell them, quote unquote, papers and make them pay for classes to learn how to use their paperwork. It's a scam and a grift. I mean, come on, man. You guys ain't get, like the matron said, this stuff's going on since 1913. Right? I'm familiar with it since about either the late 90s or early 2000s when Polite started to blow up and YouTube started to blow up. Like, what are we doing still, man? Like, we're We're going through all this, and clearly it's not working. There's a black judge here being polite, but clearly she's showing you that what you're talking is a bunch of nonsense. And yet you continue with that bullshit. It's crazy. Any last words from anyone on the panel on this topic? If not, that's the end of the show. I want to thank Oni, who first came up, and he and I went through the first few topics pretty quickly, but then others joined. Bakari, Kibwe, Bakari's son, Carl, Real Black Gentleman eventually showed up. Tanzan eventually showed up. You guys helped extend the show to finish pretty much on time. I appreciate all of you in the chat. Trigger Happy 262, Afro Native World, the Matron, House Rally Podcast, the Forecast was out there, and any other people I missed, like Daily Affirmations by Pauline, Janelle, Sister Raw, and we had a newcomer tonight whose last name was Thompson. I think the first name was Kate. Thank all of you who were here. Only you have a show in the morning. What are you talking about in the morning?
I think we're going to talk about some paper on oligarchy. Just for whatever. Still mean the worship, where some people on Sunday worship, but we as Africans have to worship. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I feel you on that one. Thank you for being here tonight. You guys make sure to check out Oni's broadcast at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Real Black Gentleman, do you want to shout out anything this week?
I just want to shout out that judge, you know what I'm saying? Just because, her demeanor was like impeccable. And it's like I said, like in the midst of something that's incredibly just like nonsensical. She was as reasonable and as measured as she could be. And she told him what it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Gracious to her, you know what I'm saying? That's all.
I appreciate that, Real Black Gentleman. Thanks for coming through on the panel tonight. Shout out to Zuli and them. I thought Zuli would have joined. That was his topic at the end. Maybe he fell asleep. Tanzan, shout out to you. What do you want to shout out this week? Anything going on with your show this week?
Yes, we did have a show on Jose's channel yesterday with the Black Pentagrammers, so check that out.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
We didn't have any idea that was going on yesterday.
Oh, yes. I think we should do better promotion. But yes, if you can subscribe to Jose's channel, Jose Just Bronze, that's where we'll be continuing with the Black Pentagrammer. And shout out to Custom Up too. Check out the old episodes we did, the previous episodes. There's still a lot of content there. Follow up. And also, I'll be resuming this Tuesday on reprogramming the Apps African Mind, part of the KWAZ network. So yes, it's been a great show, and sorry I was late in today, but I'm glad I made it still. So yeah,
we appreciate you for coming through, late or not. We appreciate you for being here. Make sure you guys check out Jose B. Bronze. He's often on the panel here on Shoot the Breeze, also on the Black Pentagrammers. I didn't know that he had a show, that you guys had a show last night, so I have to make sure I'm subscribed and have the bell clicked, etc., to check it out. Shout out to Kevin Carre 42. I got to give you a call back. You called me during the week. Shout out to Trigger Happy 262, Afro Native World. You guys check out. I hope you guys have been checking out bbtumi.tv. And I mentioned earlier that KWAZ TV is coming as well. So keep your eyes open for that. In the meantime, check out the merch store. The merch store is looking pretty good. Check out the merch store on kwazradio.com. Check out the merch, support the different shows that you like on the network. We have some announcements coming up about who's joining the network in the coming weeks. So look out for that as well. I imagine it's Harsh Rally Podcast. You guys going live tomorrow? Let us know if you're going live tomorrow night. And if you guys, you guys reach out to the matron and say, hey, matron, we want to hear your voice again on the airwaves. You know, let's bring back the learning curve. Shout out to the matron as well. All right. That's been the show tonight. Shout out to Buana Ziki. He couldn't make it tonight. He was at an event. House Ready Podcast says, yes, sir. They do have a live stream coming up on Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys tune into that as well. So I want to thank everyone who contributed to the show tonight. We'll be back next week, Saturday. Who knows? You might see me personally during the week. But definitely check out the other shows like the Forecast Radio, who should be on Sunday as well. Perhaps Monday. Check out Consider Cheek. Check out the House Ready Podcast. Check out Only in the Morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And check out Bakari, who might be on as well on Sunday, doing the Minding My Black Business segment of his podcast. All right, you guys be good. I'll see you guys next week. We will talk later.
Thanks for listening to the Bitter Medicine Podcast with your host, Koku. If you like what you just heard, we hope you pass along our web address, bittermedicineblogs.com, to your friends and colleagues, and share our show to all your social media. Be sure to check out our archive section on our website for previous podcasts. This has been a KWAZ radio production. Join us next time for another session of the Bitter Medicine Podcast. Follow us on Facebook at Bitter Medicine Show, Twitter, Bitter Meds, Tumblr, Bitter Meds, Instagram, Bitter Medicine.